Hi guys, the Sephora Savings Event kicked off and I wasted no time getting my butt in store to do a little damage. So today I am going to show you what I got. We are going to apply all of these products on my face. I hope all of that sounds good to you. If it does, let's get into this bag. All right, guys, we are going to get into eyes. I picked up 3 shades in the new Merit Solo Cream eyeshadow, and these are $26 a piece. I got Surrealism, Glacé, and Sartorial. So let's get those unpacked so that we can check out those shades. I did swatch all of the shades in store because I just think it's hard, guys, like looking at the shades online to really get a sense of what these are going to look like. They did apparently redo the packaging on these, the component itself, to make it broader and to remove sort of this click mechanism in the lid that some people struggled with in terms of making sure it was fully closed. That was all based on feedback from the community. They also made the glass portion see-through so that you could actually just look down into your drawer and see which color you have. So you can definitely see the difference there. This first shade is Sartorial. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're so creamy. I'm dipping in now into a clean pot, whereas when you're in store, obviously, lots of people have had their grubby little hands in there. This is the shade Glacé. Then we have Surrealism. There are the 3 that I was able to pick up in store. I do have one more on the way. I also ordered the color Iris. Guys, I actually had a basket ready to go on the Sephora app of products that I'd already checked and it looked like I couldn't get them in store. And so, like when I woke up on the morning of the sale, I checked again to see if any of those were available in store because I really did want to swatch things. And if they were not available in store, there are things that I just went ahead and ordered. And I knew that I wanted the shade Iris. So that is on the way. So I will have a future video where I share that with you. That is just a single swipe of each of those shades. These are described as a buildable cream eyeshadow that gives a sheer wash of color that blends in easily with zero creasing or fallout. We're going to have to see on the whole creasing thing. I did watch a video that Kaki posted, and she was sharing that she did get creasing. Now, there is a brush that they are selling to go with these. They say use that or your finger. I did not get the number 2 brush because it looked very similar to me to the Refer 12. I also have the Refer 03. So the number 2 brush from Merit is double-sided. So it's got a pencil brush on one side and sort of what looks to be sort of a dome shape on the other side. So we will use these. Let's go ahead and get into applying those on the eyes. I don't have any cats in here today to chase these boxes. Let's just start on the inner corner with the shade Glacé. I'm going to start out just applying this to the inner corner. I think a sheer wash is a great description for this. So let's try Surrealism in the center. Curious how much of a difference I will be able to see between these two, and I can. Now let's take Sartorial, I think I'm saying that correctly, and put that in the outer corner. Just picking some of this up kind of on the tip of my finger here. See how easy this is to go in with your finger. To just dip in and get a little bit more there. Let's just see what happens if I apply some of this to a brush. So let's start with glacé. See the pigment there. Let's see how much you can build this up. My guess is that the more you build it up, the more likelihood you have of it creasing on you. Let's see about building up this gold shade. Maybe that if you're going to build it up, build sort of more along the base of your lash, as opposed to up through the crease. Of course, some of us have little creasing all over our eyelids. Sartorial. I'm just sort of patting this on. I do want to see if I can keep from getting weird makeup on my head. That's not where I was going with that, but that's okay. Let's see about blending this out a little bit now. I don't want to add any additional pigment, so I am just taking that brush and buffing it out on a towel. I do feel like it looks a little harsh. Hold on. One of these days, I will remember to pin my hair back before we start applying makeup. Before. Just doing little circles to blend this out, sort of work it upward a little bit, sort of a transition shade. There's where we are right now with this eye look. Usually air quotes means I'm not like totally blown away, but I am gonna catch this other eye up. I will be right back. All right, guys, I applied this eye differently. So I want to tell you what I did because I like this better. I applied a lot less. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think that with these, less is more. The more you apply, I think the more you're gonna run into problems with creasing. If you have more mature eyes, I think that it is gonna make the skin look older and crepier than a more sort of light application. So that would be my number one tip. I went in very lightly with glacé on the finger and then with surrealism on the finger. When I got to the outer corner, I went in directly with a brush instead of my finger, which took a little bit more work, I think, than applying with my finger, but certainly had a lot more control. I think these are great if you are trying to pull together a really quick look that adds just a little bit of sheen without being glittery. You might want to consider these more sort of one and done or two and done shades. We are going to move on to complexion because I do have several complexion products for us to play with. I cannot stand to be defeated by a makeup product. We are giving another go here on the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, which is way too thick for me. I was going to just purchase outright the one size base thinner. Then I remembered, hello, get a sample. And so that is what I did. They gave me a little sample of this. So I'm going to mix some of this in with this foundation and see if this makes it usable for me. Let me put my glasses on. This will make it more likely to have success. I am a little worried that it's going to make it even lighter because this is already a pretty light foundation for me. I am just going to dip in with my pinky and mix some of this together. Okay, let's start off on one side of the face. Hopefully I'll be able to tell like right away if it's better. You know, I just thought this could actually make it much worse because of the luminosity. This may be exactly the thing not to do. God, it's so dry. Hey, I'm gonna pick up a little bit more base thinner because I still feel like that was really thick. Stirring up together what I have left on my hand. Okay, this is much more comfortable to, well, I was about to say this is much more comfortable to put on. When I first made contact with my face, I was like, this is much easier to put on now, but it very quickly got slowed down. We're past Halloween, okay? I really did not mean to show up here with a mask. Y'all, why can't I just let it go with this foundation? It's just bad on me. Here, let's just put it all over the place now. Let's just really go for it. You guys, I mean, oh. I have seen so many videos where people actually like this foundation, and I think that's why I keep coming back and trying to make it work because I'm like, why? Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I need to put on the rest of my makeup, but right now I'm once again telling myself, that's it. I'm done with this foundation. I'm done. Of course, I feel like I do not need any powder, but we have a powder to us today, so I'm just like, oh God. And now we just keep going. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. So we do have a new concealer to play with today. This isn't a new release, but it's one of these products that I have had my eye on forever, and so I know this is not an impulse purchase. The concealer that we're trying out today is the HAUS Labs by Lady Gaga Triclone Skin Tech Hydrating and Depuffing Concealer. This retails for $32. Part of the reason that I wanted to try this is because I love, love, love the foundation. You can see here how much of that I have used. I think this may be my most used foundation in my collection right now. I just keep coming back to this because it's so good. This is described as a long-wearing, non-comedogenic concealer that visibly blurs, brightens, and conceals with medium buildable coverage that depuffs after 2 weeks of daily use. I don't really feel like I have a problem with puffy under eyes, so that's not such a big thing for me, but hey, I'll take it. I need to shake this. Do you shake concealer? I don't know. I've kind of like gone back to a different concealer brush. This is a brush from the KJH Spectrum collection that's sort of, I don't know, fluffier. I have been singing the praises of this kitten paw brush from the Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty line. You know, obviously, like you tap in, but I always kind of feel like before I do the tapping in that I want to sort of like brush it about. This brush is just not great for that. I feel like I'm sort of tugging on the skin a bit more. I may use both brushes. So here is what that applicator looks like. I'm gonna do a little dot here and a little dot here. This brush kind of allows me to more sort of like skim the surface, if that makes sense. I can blot with this too. Patting. And then there's the finger. I mean, gosh. Okay, can we tell a difference? Sorry, I banged you guys. I feel like I can see a difference between the concealed and the non-concealed. Let's try the other side. So just a little bit here, a little bit there. Sort of skimming. I think that looks nice. Let's see, what else did I pick up? Let's do a little bit of liner along the lower lash line. I am going to use my Sarah Creel eyeliner in the taupe shade that I've been recommending like crazy. I did pick up another shade of this online because they don't sell these at my Sephora. So I will be testing another shade, and I am glad that I placed an order for that one first thing in the morning the day the sale started because it is already showing up as sold out. It's the really dark brown one, in case you're wondering, but hopefully they'll restock that during the course of the sale. I do have a new shimmer shade, and that is one where I slapped my hands. I wanted to get it. It is said to be the perfect mix between cool and warm. And yeah, I wanted it badly, but I was like, no, you don't need that. Stop. But yeah, very, very tempting. Let's go through the details of the rest of the complexion products that I got, and then we will get into applying everything. So I picked up the Kosas Cloud Set Baked Setting and Smoothing Talc-Free Vegan Powder. This retails for $38. It is available in 13 shades, 3 of which are new brightening shades, and I got this in the shade Airy. I always hear people talk about how phenomenal this is. The most recent pressed powder that I tried is the Givenchy Prism Libre. That is the 4 colors. And guys, really what I have found with that is that I like it for touching up. So it is a great powder to keep in your bag, but it does not provide enough coverage for setting in my book, okay? This is what the shade Airy looks like. Hopefully this is a good match for me. I also got the Merit Blush Balm Cream Blush in the shade Archival. If you watch my recommendations, you know that I recommended the Merit Archival Lip gift set. And so what I wanted to do was pick up the Flush Balm that is in that same shade. This is what Archival looks like. This is $30. It's described as an impossible to mess up cream blush that effortlessly melts into the skin for a perfect all-day flush. It's really said to create more of sort of this transparent veil of color that allows your natural skin to show through, and you can use this on your cheeks and lips. I will also be using the Archival lip liner today that is a part of that gift set. And then the other thing that I have that's going to go on the lips. Okay, guys, this was kind of an impulse purchase. It was on my wish list, off my wish list, on my wish list. Like, I really wanted it, okay? But I was like, no, that is silly. You don't need that. And then, I mean, in store, that was it. They got me, okay? Look, this is it. Why I decided that, I just had to try that black lip gloss. I have no idea, okay? I did swatch these in store, and I thought they were really beautiful. I think this could make a good gift, depending on what we see when I actually pull this out of the box. It is really beautiful packaging, right? You've got the 2 shades on this side and on the back. It's got this beautiful sort of gold design with the word Givenchy. This is the Givenchy limited edition Rose Perfecto Tinted Lip Balm Duo set. It's said to be an $80 value, which is true because these are both full size, and a full size of one of these costs $40. So I think that's good. You are actually getting, I think, a good value if you decide that you actually like this product. The packaging on these, really, really beautiful. So you can see there, it says Givenchy across the top. These are glass, so they're nice, heavy weighted. So definitely good for gifting, I would say. These are both pH reactive shades, so do what you will with that. Some people love that. Some people hate it. These are in the shades 001 Pink Irresistible and 011 Black Pink. The marble there, I think, is really cute, and it's probably what makes this somewhat desirable. Looks a little more sort of elevated and unique, but yeah, guys, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lip gloss. Let me swatch the black one because that's really what we want to see. It being swirled, it almost makes it look like a dessert, right? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, so there is the black shade. I don't know what it's going to do on my lips. I mean, I guess the curiosity got the best of me. Okay, that's the bottom line. So let's get into applying this last set of products. I think that what is next is going to be blush. I have my BK Beauty 109, which is my favorite blush brush for cream, which is my favorite blush brush for cream, which is my favorite blush brush for cream blushes. Oh my God. Okay, here, let me swatch this. You can see. what that looks like. I was really tempted by the mini set that has 3 different shades of the Flush Bombs. I just wasn't crazy about all of these shades. I decided to just go with this and sort of round out my archival collection. I am gonna just attempt this because this is said to be just a veil of color. And let's see how well this blends out. I am all about the goof proof. Maybe this will help add some hydration back. Okay, I mean, you could go right there, right? I mean, I don't know that you need more than that. I like that shade. I think that's really pretty. Very natural. I think sort of blushing and lit from within. I am going to pick up a little bit more on the end of my brush. So let's kind of see if we're able to build this up, because that worked out so well when I decided to build up the Solo Cream eyeshadows, right? I am really happy with the way that that looks. Let's, for gigs, let's try blending out this other side with my fingers. Just like to show you guys different application methods. So I am just gonna go boop, and let's see if you don't have a brush on you, right? Maybe you've just sort of thrown this in your bag because you're going out for drinks with your friends, your coworkers, and you just want to be able to touch that up. I don't think there's anything to complain about there. No, that blended out really well. So, more finger forward products. That seems to sort of run across the Merit line. Wow, I look dewy now. Oh my God, maybe the foundation is workable with this blush. I don't know. Okay. Real quick, before we move on, okay. I've got so many things I want to tell you, I want to show you. Okay, first of all, I want to show you these again because of the pH reactive thing. I do feel like those have developed, okay, like film. Black is really interesting. I cannot wait to put that on my lips. Okay, I think that we are now ready for powder. Let's open up our Kosas powder. I have yet another BK Beauty brush. This is the Precision Powder brush. Just tapping in, and then I'm gonna kind of swirl into the lid to make sure it's evenly distributed. Don't want to kill all the dew that I just worked so hard to rebuild there. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. We might go in with a little more blush again, just to make sure we don't lose all of our glow here. I'm going to just pick some up directly onto my brush. And, okay, I'm not seeing a bunch come off on the back of my hand, so I'm not as worried about overdoing it. Let's just kind of hit the high point right here. Right here. We are going to leave that right there. Let's do lips. I am going to start off applying my lip liner. I'm going to take a brush and sort of brush that out a little bit. am going to add a little bit of powder just to kind of set that down. You guys, I look really greasy to me again. I'm gonna have to see how it looks like, obviously, when I start editing, but like right here, right here. You guys are gonna have to let me know like what it looks like to you guys. It's hard because I'm looking in a very close-up mirror and that's just not gonna be as flattering. Now we are going to put on our black lip gloss. Interesting. I'm thinking from there, we should just kind of let it hang, right? Because we need to know what's going to happen with the pH adjusting. So while my lips are pH cooking, I am going to go off camera, put on mascara, and then we are going to come back for final thoughts on all of the products that we tested today. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we are with the final look for today. I did just put on a light coat of mascara, which I just noticed I got all up here in my eyeshadow. That is just awesome. So I am going to take a spoolie and just sort of flick that away because it dried and now it is gone. Okay. Bonus tip. Hello. All right, let's talk about the products that are a part of this Sephora haul, starting off with the Merit Solo Shadows. If you're interested in these, take a less is more approach. Looking at them now, I feel like I can already see some creasing over here on this eye where I did apply a lot more so that we could see how they build. And let me see if I can kind of get closer up so you can see what that looks like. Hopefully you can sort of see what I'm talking about just in terms of how the amount of product is impacting just the look of the skin on my eyelids. So yes, less is more. The colors are beautiful. I think these are for somebody who likes really light, quick, easy looks that you can throw on with your fingers. This I think is a disaster. The Charlotte Tilbury and the One Size B12 base. Okay, look, we got a lot going on here today with complexion products, and obviously it isn't ideal to test and show you a lot of new products at once in one way because some of these products could be impacting the performance of other products. So I look very, very dewy to me right now to a degree that I'm not happy with, but I don't know if that is a result of the One Size base thinner or if it is, for instance, the Flush Balm, which is a creamy product. I'm also using a powder today that I'm not as familiar with. So it's hard for me to know right now what is causing the level of dew that I have going on because I did go in and like powder some of the dew away. And then, yes, I applied a little bit more blush up here, but I feel like the dew is back. Hold on, let me just see. I'm just sort of curious. Sticks, and in the sticking I can actually see pores. Do you see that? Can you see the pores in the stick? That is where I just sort of press that down, and wow, that looks so much better to me already. And it's sticking and we're seeing a lot of little pores there. Boop. Yes, I feel like that helped. As I'm looking around my face, I'm thinking right now, it's not just the Flush Balm because like right through here, I am sort of dewier as well. Let's do the little test right there. I found a clean spot. Okay. And again, I can see little pinprick marks from pores. This may be the base thinner that's causing this issue. So I will definitely update you guys on what is going on there. I think the most that I can say at this point is I feel pretty confident going no, no. And then yes, I think that this performed really well and looks really good right now. Have to see how it wears throughout the day. I feel like this is a good powder. Okay, even though I've got some issues going on here, I think that I am gonna like this powder, and I love the shade of the Flush Bomb. Gonna have to try this with, I don't want to say matte or dewy, so more of sort of my in between, the High Glam foundation from Natasha Denona, and also the Makeup by Mario, and see how this does with both of those. Same for this too. And then that just leaves the glosses, and I really, really like the way this gloss looks. I think that this color that is, I guess, my PA adjustment is really pretty. I like that it isn't just like this straight up like, hi, here's your pink lip gloss, which this is probably what this one is going to look like on me. And hey, there's a time and a place for that. But I do really like this shade here, and I think it goes with the mauve blush. So that is where we are landing right now on all of these products in today's haul. As I said, I have another haul coming up, so please subscribe if you are not subscribed. That would also help me reach my goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers during the week of my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. I have been here for 1 year now, and I am trying to achieve this goal of 1,000 subscribers. So if you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Some of the products, just a preview for you, that are coming up in that next haul include 2 of the Rhode blushes. I said I would never buy any of those Rhode blushes, and yes, I did it. So we've got some of those. We have another shade in the Merit Solo Shadows, as I said, the Iris shade. I've got that new dark brown color in the Sarah Creel eyeliner, and gosh, there's more, guys. I can't think of what it is right now. I'm actually placing another order probably this weekend for a couple of other odds and ends. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that it helped you if you were trying to decide what to pick up in the Sephora Savings Event. I will have the sale details below. It should be going on for another week and a half or so by the time that I post this video. So again, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.